So a unique sculpture was created for the Montego Bay Marine Park, and the creative environmentalist behind the sculpture, Robert Toby Grant, joins me now to tell me more about this work. Good morning to you, Robert. How are you?
Good morning, Simone. I'm fine. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. A creative environmentalist. What does that person
Yes.
do?
Well, basically, we come up with creative ways of basically talking about environmental issues and dealing with some of the environmental problems that we've been facing.
I see. So you're a teacher at Yalas currently, am I right?
Yes, I'm a teacher at Yalas High School. I specialize in design arts and entrepreneurship, staying in my field.
So tell me how you got involved with this particular project and tell us a little bit about the project itself.
Well, the sculpture it was created. I was first approached by Smiler Zone Waste Management Limited, that's located in Montego Bay, and they had the idea of utilizing some of the waste material that's been collected from some of the resorts, major resorts areas. So what happened is that they heard of me and some of my environmental work that I've been doing, which including utilizing waste materials such as plastic bottles and broken bottles. And they called me up. We went for a meeting. We share ideas because we both have the same ideas in terms of creating underwater sculptures. I feel like I've dominated the land enough. So I wanted to go underwater to basically help, what's happening in the marine world. So we just gel on Smiler Zone. We came together and we basically put together a proposal, and we first created the first prototype. We were unsure what we were going to create. So I first wanted to do the Jamaican avatar kind of thing. But we heard of the Montego Bay Marine Park and what they were doing, and the fact that they wanted to create a mermaid sanctuary to help grow back the coral reef and to basically stop some of the shoreline from receding. So so it's very important. So what we did, we came up with the idea, and it's really, the sculpture is 80% glass.
Yes,
And
glass
yes,
and crushed glass and cement.
And cement, pH underwater cement, and we use a bit of sand in it. But the uniqueness about this sculpture is that there have never been a sculpture like this before anywhere in the world. Yes, there's underwater sculpture, but not in the sense of using waste materials such as glass. And glass is coming from sand.
Right.
So we basically putting it back into the ocean in an environmental way and a creative way as well.
Because what it's going to do is, it's really, you're putting forward a solution to coral degradation, because what it's going to do over the next couple of years, the algae buildup and the coral growth on the sculptures will attract marine life. So it's going to enhance the health of the reef and the ecosystem. Yes. So it's really a really creatively environmental way to help what's going on with our coral parks and our marine life, and it's just going to help what's going on environmentally.
Definitely.
Nice,
Definitely.
very nice. And this sculpture is going to be part of what is hoped to be a park, or one of two, right? Yes. That are going to have several underwater. People can snorkel, tourists can see it in the glass bottom boat.
Scuba diving, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Simone, I just want to say that one of my biggest fear or phobia was going underwater. And this project allowed me to basically overcome this fear, because I wanted to see where the sculpture is going to go. I wanted to see what's happening under the water in terms of looking at the damages of the coral reef and our seabeds. And I said, you know what? In order for me to do this, I'm going to have to overcome my fear. So I went and get certified as a scuba diver.
So how far down is this sculpture going to go?
Well, we're basically looking to go about between 50 to 60 feet, enough where a basic scuba diver or immediate scuba diver can basically dive to see these sculptures. And we don't want them too close to the surface or just beneath the water, because ships and those different transport that take place.
Right. So have you seen the feedback in social media since this news of this? I guess you have, because you're laughing.
I
Are you
have.
surprised?
I am very surprised, to be honest. I thought, the wider Jamaicans would be wowed by the whole experience, that this is history. This is history, in the making. It's not the first underwater sculpture in the world, but it's the first that we're using waste material to basically make a difference. And so people can eat more fish, right? And have a healthy marine life to swim in.
I don't think
Um,
I don't think they've even gone to really understand what the sculpture is for. The hullabaloo
exactly.
is over the mermaid. Why do we have a mermaid sculpture?
I know, because I grew up in a Christian home, and I just want to make a shout out to my dad and my mom. My dad is an assistant pastor, but I've never seen anything in the Bible that talks about mermaid. There's something called personification, and even Christ himself talk about earthly, heavenly stories and earthly meaning. People look into zodiac. People say I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Aries, and do they ever see the imagery of those iconographies? No, nobody ever concerned about that. But because of our culture, that people think that mermaid is a evil thing, and I've never seen a mermaid. Ask anybody in the world if they have ever seen a physical mermaid. Came on TVJ to do an interview. So it's just myth, you know. So I think Jamaicans really need to get their mind to a place where, it's more open-minded. Do your research. Everything you're doing, do your research and
Yeah.
get the facts and get good information, and just stop pretending and make believe.
Yeah, yeah, and also understand what this is really for, because now that
Yes.
you are talking about what it is supposed to do, you will see that the
Yeah.
purpose of this thing makes a
Mhm.
whole lot of sense. Where do we see it now? Can we see it now? When will it be installed?
Yeah, so currently it's on display at Pier 1 in Montego Bay, at the Montego Bay Marine Park. Just want to make a big shout out to the Marine Park. They're doing a very good job over there in Montego Bay, because I get to understand that the fish sanctuary is just not a small location. It's a wide location that stretches from St. Jude's into Hanover. And also, I just want to talk about the fact that the original sculpture that was created was made from plastic bottles. So it's a three-part process where you have to create the sculpture, the prototype, then cast that, make a mold for that, and then cast it into cement. So the original sculpture is made from plastics, right, which can now be displayed on land, while the cast version of it go underwater. So
Excellent.
you're talking about alleviating so many waste from going to the landfill. My
Yeah,
dream and my purpose, I believe, in Jamaica and possibly the wider world, is to eliminate these landfills. I want to
excellent.
turn these landfills into apartments, into schools, into training centers, all those things, because it's possible. It
Yeah,
just didn't go. It just didn't become a landfill overnight.
yeah.
It takes time to build up.
We
So
hear you,
let us
Robert.
take our time to fix it.
Yes, I agree. And what you're doing certainly will help in that goal. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congratulations to you. And thank you for giving
Thank
us the
you.
story behind this.
Good.
And hopefully, folks will be able to look at what it is you're doing and look past this
Yes.
discussion, I want to call it, that's been happening, that is
Yes.
so
Quickly, what you're looking
not
on,
relevant.
I also work with the different major hotels to go in and see the waste material to turn them into sculptural props, life-size props. So that's what you're seeing. That's a display at beaches in Negril. And I just want to make a quick shout out, Simone, to my family, my kids, Antoine, Zion, and Ziona, my family, my brothers who have been there for me, who helped me, because I would not have done this without them, my brothers and their wives, for
Okay.
cooking good food while I work.
Okay, Robert. Thank you so much for that. Big up to your family, all the folks who've appreciated your work, and thank you very much for coming on today.
Great.
Creative environmentalist Robert Toby Grant. Now,
Thank
moving
you.
on. What things? Robert shows you what he loves, but what things would you do for love? That's on He Said, She Said, and that's after the break.